Hello and welcome to Odds on La Liga, brought to you by Oddspedia. Today I'm joined by Spanish football expert Alvaro Romeo. We're here to bring you the best odds, tips and predictions on Matchday 9 of the Primera Division. If you enjoy the show, please make sure you like the video, subscribe and share this with your friends. Now, on with the show. Welcome to Odds on La Liga and bienvenida to our Spanish football expert Alvaro Romeo.
Hello Tom, how are you?
I'm very well. Let's get straight into this. Friday night's action, it's Elche versus Celta Vigo. Now, Celta haven't won any of their last 7 away league games. They've also scored the fewest of all teams in the Liga with just 5 goals. If we look actually at the over-under of the goals scored, they've actually scored under 2.5 of 9 of their last 11. But then if we look at Elche, they've got by far the fewest shots per game and they've also conceded the most shots. So, I mean, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, I know, you're totally right. None of the teams are particularly good going forward. I think that Elche is the kind of club that we have still to see how good they are and how competitive they can be in the top flight, because I have had mixed feelings about them. For example, what they did against Valencia a couple of weeks ago at home was very impressive, but then they lost against Betis this weekend and the manager Jorge Almiron was a bit disappointed with the team performance. He didn't like the way he lost the ball. He said that they lost it too quickly. And then what can you say about Celta? I mean, they lost 4-1 against Real Sociedad last weekend. And Iago Aspas, right after the game, the captain of the team, said that they had to tighten their balls and fight more. And you know, this is exactly what Celta is about. They've got the quality there, but they haven't had the spirit for a year or two. And the manager Oscar is under heavy questioning. They say that Marcelino could be the next Celta manager. So let's see how it goes. Look, I think that both teams are not good at scoring goals, but at the same time, they are in need for scoring. Elche, they have to win at home. Celta, they have to get a win because otherwise the manager is going to be out. So I'm going for the following. I know that it's a little bit paradoxical, but I think that both teams are going to score because they are going to attack, and that is paid 220. And then I'm going for a win for Elche, 345. Okay,
that's a nice double there. That's great to see. Moving on to Saturday's action, the early kickoff is Huesca versus Eibar. Huesca are in some pretty tough form. They haven't won in 8 straight La Liga games. They lost 4-1 back-to-back, albeit, you know, that is against Sociedad, the leaders, and also Real Madrid. They're also one of only 11 clubs across Europe's top 5 to have actually not won a game this year. So, yeah, it's quite tough for them at the moment. This one, how do you see it?
Well, I think that Huesca, they are not that terrible as the table suggests. They are sitting on the 19th place at the minute, but I can see some potential or some possibilities of growing and becoming stronger. But at the same time, Eibar has the know-how to win these games. In fact, they are better on the road this season than they are at home. They have 2 wins on the road. And Huesca has conceded 14 goals. So I can imagine Eibar just showing their knowledge here against Huesca, and I'm going for a win for them. 395 is what you would be getting. And if Eibar wins 2-0, which is something that can happen as well, considering how weak Huesca is going forward, that will be paid 510. So I think that Mendilibar's Eibar is going to get the victory here, and they are going to leave a clean sheet.
That's really good money. It's very good value you can find there on Oddspedia. So that's very nice. If we go on to probably a really big game here on Saturday's Barcelona against Betis. What do we say about Barca? 12th in the league, their worst start since Louis van Gaal was in charge at the start of 02-03. Just 5 points from 8 games. This is clearly a must-win game for them. You know, it's 4 games without a win. The last time that they had 5 matches without a win in the Liga was in 2008 under Frank Rijkaard, another Dutch manager there. Ultimately, he got sacked after that sort of poor run towards the end of 08. This is, as I said, a must-win game for Barcelona.
Yeah, and I remember that a couple of years ago, Betis won at Camp Nou. Betis are one of the last teams to beat Barcelona there in the league, but they have had 3 managers ever since. I mean, the manager of Betis was Quique Setién, who later managed Barcelona. Look, I think that Betis is the kind of team that they can do very well or very bad, and the perfect proof of that is that they haven't drawn a game this season. Barcelona is in real need, and I think that they are not as terrible as the table suggests. In fact, in the Champions League the other day, they beat Juventus easily. They could have beaten them for a bigger margin. So I'm going for the following. I think that Barcelona is going to win both halves. That is paid 330. It's not a lot of money, but I think that the bet is kind of logical. And I'm going for the following as well. Barcelona is going to win from behind. This is paid 850. Why am I saying that? Because in the 3 games that they have played at home this season, they have conceded first in both of them. Against Villarreal, they won 4-0. Okay, that game doesn't count. But then in the next 2 games at home, they have conceded first to come back later. So I think that Barcelona is going to win coming back, and that is paid 850.
Well, it's certainly they do need to get the maximum points from this game as we look into November now. Next up, we've got Seville, Osasuna. Seville have lost 3 straight. They haven't won in 4. But they've lost by only 1 goal in their last 3, and also under 2.5 goals actually in their last 8 home games. Meanwhile, Osasuna, they've actually won more aerial challenges more than anyone else, and also committed the most fouls. Do you think that potentially Seville could be beaten up here?
I think that Sevilla is going to win this game because they are in real need. It's not that Lopetegui is under heavy questioning, but you know how Sevilla is. I mean, the fans over there and the press over there is tremendously demanding, and I'm sure that Lopetegui and Sevilla players have taken note of that. I believe that, look, Osasuna is a good team, but they don't have good scorers because Chimi Avila and Jonathan Caleri are out with injuries, and they rely a lot on their midfielders to score. And, that is not a promising prospect or definitely a good fact playing at Sanchez Pizjuan. So I'm going for the following. I think that Sevilla is going to win, but this is the kind of game that unexpectedly Sevilla starts scoring goals, and they score all the goals that they haven't scored lately. So I'm going for an Asian handicap of -2 for Sevilla, and that pays 550. I think that the likes of Lucas Ocampos, Luke de Jong, En-Nesyri, Suso, they will finally find their scoring form against Osasuna this time.
Well, you made some very good tips on our earlier week shows, so this could be the week that Sevilla finally find their shooting boots. And let's hope so for them. And Saturday evening, we've got Atletico versus Cadiz. Cadiz, obviously, a wonderful start to their season, 4 away wins, 4 away clean sheets. Atleti, they've conceded just 1 goal in their last 5 games, which is obviously very Simeone. Also, Luis Suarez has had a great start to his life there. 4 goals in his last 5, enjoying a new section of his career. And yeah, I guess Cadiz aren't exactly the most possession-based side. They've got by far the worst, with just 36% possession across their 6 games so far. Do you think they can hit them on the break, or Atleti are just too strong for them?
No, I think that this time Atletico is going to be too strong for them. It's very interesting what you said about possession, because Álvaro Cervera couldn't care less, and because he thinks that his team has to be competitive, and having the ball maybe is not the way for them to be that competitive. So I think that Cadiz is good on the road. In fact, they got 12 points away and 2 points at home, but Wanda Metropolitano is going to be too much for them. I think that Atletico is going to win this game, but Atletico, they are the second highest scoring team in La Liga, but at the same time they haven't scored in 2 games out of 6, because Atletico has 2 games in hand, which tells me something, that Atletico bullies the opponents once they score the first goal. And in fact, they have scored this season 3 goals in the stoppage time. That's why they've got this big scoring number. So I'm going for the following. I think that it's going to be a draw in the first half. Cadiz is going to sit tight, they're going to defend, and in the second half, Atletico de Madrid is going to win the game, and that is paid 390.
That'd be nice. That would be very nice at the Wonder for Simeone's men there. Great. Okay, and if we move into Sunday, it's Getafe against Villarreal. Both sides, I would suggest, are quite inconsistent at the moment. Villarreal have looked a little bit better, but they do struggle away from home. They haven't won in 4, but to be fair, they have been playing Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico. But they've got a good goal scorer, Paco Alcácer, leading the line. How do you see this one?
Well, Paco Alcácer is a good scorer. In fact, against Valladolid on Monday night, he assisted one of the goals. And Gerard Moreno, Villarreal's top scorer last season, is back as well, which is good news for Unai Emery's men. Look, I think that Getafe, for all the intense football that they put into practice and for all their high line pressure up front, they don't produce many goal opportunities, and I could see that very clearly against Valencia the other day. Valencia managed to get a point in the last minute against Getafe. I think that Villarreal learned a lot from the mistakes made at Barcelona when they lost 4-0. Unai Emery has said that ever since there has been a massive improvement, and I think that Villarreal this time is going to win the game. This is going to be my surprise of the weekend. A win for Villarreal is paid 3.25, which is okay, but a win 2-0 for Villarreal, again, I'm saying that Getafe, they are not producing many scoring chances in relation to the time they spend in the opposition's half. I think that Villarreal is going to win 2-0 this time, and that is paid 4.75.
Okay, and it's an away win there for Villarreal. And then up next on the Sunday, we have the table toppers and top goal scorers, Real Sociedad versus Granada. Sociedad have 18 goals in 8 games. The Sociedad boss said this week that Maradona would find it hard to get into our team. Are they the real deal, or is it simply David Silva's so good he's made them this good?
No, they were already very good last season, but I believe that they have become a finished product this season with David Silva, and also with some young players that are becoming, referential players in La Liga. The likes of Oyarzabal, or the likes of Isaac, for example, are very good. And, I think that the best thing we can say about Real Sociedad is that they are not missing Martin Odegaard this season because David Silva is, filling his boots so well. I think that this is the kind of game that is going to be marked by the Europa League. Both teams are going to play on Thursday. But all that said, Real Sociedad scores many goals, and I think that they are going to win this time at home. I'm going for the following. This is a good game for the Asian handicap. An Asian handicap of -2 for Real Sociedad is 5.55. And I think that if Real Sociedad continues with their scoring form, many players can score, not only Oyarzabal or Isaac, but also the likes of Portu. They are playing fantastically. Adnan Januzaj. They can score from many different angles and positions. So I'm going for a Real Sociedad win with an Asian handicap -2, that is 5.55.
Yeah, they're certainly favourites for this one, so that looks pretty decent odds there. Then we've got Levante versus Alaves. The host Levante, they failed to win any of their last 5. And also, interestingly, if we're looking at the goals market, they've in 10 of the last 12, it's been under 2.5 goals, and you can get that under 2.5 goals in this game at around 1.8, 1.85. Do you expect goals, or do you expect this to be quite a low-scoring affair?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair because Alaves, with their manager Machin, they are defensive-minded. Levante, this is a bit contradictory, but they are not defensive-minded at all. They are simply not doing the right thing in attack this season. I expect that Paco, the Levante manager, has worked really hard this week in order to get the points against Deportivo Alaves. Alaves is going to defend a lot against Levante, but I believe that the micromanagement of Paco, because he's the kind of manager that works with the players in small groups, is going to pay some dividends this time. So I'm going for Levante to win 2-0. 380. If Levante wins and they leave a clean sheet, they are going to. You can get a 380 for that.
Okay, great. It's interesting to see that they can move up the table there as well. Real Valladolid against Athletic Bilbao up next. They can't really get a win, can they, Valladolid? There's no victories in 7 there. They've had under 2.5 goals in 9 of their last 10. I mean, how much could they do with the goals of their majority stakeholder Ronaldo up front for them?
Yeah, I mean, they wish Ronaldo could play 5-10 minutes, even if he is, what now, 44 years old? Yeah. I'm sure that he could still, produce something fantastic. But anyway, I tell you what, I am a supporter of Athletic Bilbao, and I know what they are capable of. I believe that they are the kind of team always that they do better at home than away, and this is something that has been historically one of the main marks of Athletic Bilbao. At the same time, the manager, Gaizka Garitano, is giving way to the next generation, the likes of Morcillo, Sancet, Zárraga. They are playing, they are very young, they don't have top flight experience, no more than 10 games between the three of them. I believe that this is the kind of game that Athletic Bilbao may lose because they don't have the experience, at least in some key positions. So I'm going for a Valladolid win, and this is paid 360. I know that this is a little bit unexpected, but at the same time, they are in such a real need that I believe that Athletic Bilbao, who have been quite inconsistent this season, they are going to let the 3 points go.
Okay, that would be obviously a shock. But speaking about Athletic Bilbao, they haven't actually drawn yet this season. They've either won or lost. I mean, what do you put that down to? I mean, a draw here is 3.08. It's either win or lose. Why do you think that is?
I think that Athletic Bilbao has that problem. Look, they are all right defensively. I would say that they are even good defensively. But at the same time, they don't score many goals. Iñaki Williams has had a poor form. Raúl García, he can score 10, 11 goals per season, but no more. And I think that the team has to do a monumental effort to score the goals. And at the same time, the injury of Yuri in the first 3 or 4 games of the season, Yuri plays as a left back, has stopped Athletic Bilbao from having a lot of football production on the left channel. And this obviously has hampered the team in the first weeks of the season. And also, again, the new generation is just there. Morcillo, Sancet, Zárraga, even you could consider a new generation player to the goalkeeper Unai Simon after Kepa left to Chelsea. So I think that not until that new backbone settles, Athletic Bilbao is going to be a reliable team.
Okay, well, just to repeat that, it's 360 on Valladolid to win there. So we go into the final game of the Matchday 9 weekend in La Liga. It's Valencia versus Real Madrid. 2 wins in the last 5 for Los Blancos, but of course that does include a Clásico victory, so we can't forget that and how much that's worth to the club. Valencia, they have 1 win in 7, but ironically that was actually against the league leaders Sociedad. So where do we find the value here at the Mestalla?
I think the value is in the Asian handicap for Real Madrid, because I think that Real Madrid is going to win this game, and there is a novelty at Real Madrid that has to be said. I mean, Eden Hazard is back. Last Saturday he scored a goal against Huesca, his second goal with the Real Madrid shirt, and there is a huge expectation on him and also on what they call the new tridente, which will be Benzema, Asensio and Eden Hazard playing together. I expect big things from this tridente. I think that also Real Madrid, after winning at El Clásico, they got a booster in their confidence. They know that they have a decent point difference with Barcelona already, and they want to keep it, of course. So I know that Real Madrid, since the restart of football in June, they haven't been particularly a scoring machine. But I think that with the new striker, Eden Hazard, and with players like Fede Valverde, who is scoring as well coming from the midfield, Real Madrid is going to score many goals at Mestalla, and Valencia is in real trouble. The other day they managed to get a draw against Getafe because they were just competitive and they had this pride to get a penalty in the last minute of the game. But their squad is so thin, they are going to lose Kondogbia. Kondogbia is going to sign for Atletico de Madrid. Carlos Soler is playing in the midfield as a holding midfielder, and he's not exactly that player, he's rather a right winger. So it's so dysfunctional, Valencia, that I believe that Real Madrid is going to find it very easy to win this time. They're going to find it as easy as playing in a playground. And I'm going for an Asian handicap of -2 for Real Madrid, and that is paid 375.
Like playing in the playground, well, that'll be a great watch for, and particularly an easy one for Hazard to come back to. So that'd be great to see. Alvaro, do you have Aka for the week lined up for us?
Yes, you have to help me with the odds, but it will be Barcelona winning, Atletico de Madrid winning, Real Sociedad winning, and Real Madrid winning. I'm going for the easy one this time. I believe that there will be no surprises.
Great to see. It'd be good to see Sociedad continue their strong form and start to the season, and hopefully they can mount some sort of a title challenge as we get further into the season. Thank you very much for your time, Alvaro. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you, Tom. A pleasure as usual. Take care.
See you soon.
So there we have it, wins for Atletico, Barcelona and Real Sociedad at the top of the table, plus a few more surprises on Sunday. Leave us a comment if you're backing any of Alvaro's tips this weekend, and if you've enjoyed the show, please make sure that you like the video, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget you can also listen to this on Spotify. Eduardo will be back next week, but from me, I wish you all the best with your weekend betting.